All right, welcome back into Indiebnb. Today we are joined by Noraa Stoke, or as she's also known, Miss Manhattan or MX Manhattan, as you can find her on Spotify. Noraa, how are we doing today?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Yeah.
Getting some time in Atlanta down here, ready to go. But interested to find out a little bit more about this project and understanding kind of your roots in this music. Really loved what I heard from Pink Moon, and we'll get into that in a bit. But tell me a little
Thank
bit
you.
about the process of getting this one off the ground and kind of where it stemmed from.
Yeah, so Pink Moon, the song, it was kind of written towards the end of my marriage, my former marriage. Kind of, it was something toxic, plagued by mental health issues and just two people who are kind of traumatized, not knowing how to love one another properly. And just, I had all these pent up feelings that I didn't know how to talk about. And I think just kind of um, after I filed for divorce, I I just kind of started to get this like feel this heavy feeling and but bittersweet, sentimental, and a little kind of a double-edged sword, relief of being out of it, sadness for like, missing the idea of what it was supposed to be with this person. And so it came from a place of pain and strange relief. And that's pretty much just what the lyrics are about, is just kind of that process of, coming together and collapsing and digging up the past and just all these themes that I kind of bring up with like. And then one of the lyrics is just, I don't think I know where we are anymore, which is kind of just how I felt. It's a simple line, but uh, I think it conveys the point. Um, yeah, that's kind of um, where the whole thing came from. The sound of the song and like the strings and the guitar and everything, I kind of wanted it to be this like full instrumental, kind of like lush and sentimental sounding with these kind of just bittersweet lyrics, and kind of mixing in some playful like vocal effects there at the end. I think it's fun. I think I listen to a lot of pop music. I just, as a guilty pleasure, in pretty much anything that bubblegum pop, hyper pop, stuff like that. So it comes through in some of my songs.
Yeah. So this one particular, I mean, again, sounds like you took something that was probably pretty, traumatic and just kind of work through it through the music. Is that something you do a lot with, a lot of the music, or would you say that more of it stems from other experiences? Like, take me through a little bit more of there.
Yeah, so my music is kind of just like it's like a journal. It's like a sound journal. It's all autobiographical, really. I wish I had a bigger imagination to just make stuff up, but like, it's really, I'm just like telling the truth as I see it from my eyes on pretty much all of every song I write. It's going to have the sounds in the song are going to be specifically chosen to make you feel an emotion I'm feeling. And then the lyrics are kind of just like this commentary on top of it, like a little rambling on the subject of just some sort of trauma I went through, or, it's kind of a cathartic thing for me.
Sure. And is that kind of how this, project started? When you started Miss Manhattan, were you like in bands prior? Like, was there things that you were like, hey, like I just got to get some of this stuff out as, only me, or like where's kind of the background from at the beginning of this?
Yeah. So for me, music has always been like my number one escape. I think it's because it was the most accessible one,
Hmm.
like growing up, has been music. What was the question again?
For your beginning, for the beginning
Oh yeah,
part,
yeah, yeah.
of getting into, were you in bands prior? Did you grow up kind of, musically, or what was what kind of got you to this point?
Yeah, that's where we are. Okay, so I just kind of always been something that kind of was like this thing that I needed to do. That not it was more just like a compulsion. Like I can't help it even when I think I don't want to. It's just like screw you. Like you just are compelled to. The universe has just been like, you need to make music. So I've been in bands before and stuff like that. But really, even when I wasn't. I was still kind of just writing, and people are like, I was actually, I think finally, I had a lot of conversations with an old acquaintance. It's actually how I found out about this podcasting. Saint Lennox, Andrew Choi,
Sure.
old acquaintance of mine, known him for over 10 years.
10 American Work songs. Shout
Yeah,
out to him.
yeah. Great. One of my favorite artists of all time. I love his music and his lyrics a lot. And so I found out about him when he was going to Ohio State. I heard his music on a local radio station, and we were both actually living in New York at the same time. And we, hit up some open mics together, and we've had a few conversations over the years. But one of them, I'm always like talking to him about my music, and it's just like I never had anything released, and he's just like, release something, just start releasing music. And I was just like, well, I need to be in a project or have like a band or something. And I think I always just wanted to like hide behind other people was mainly the reason, and trying to get a group of people together to just create music. Just relying on other people, it never works out when you're just totally banking on other people to show up and be there and help you with the stuff. So I'm just like, finally, he could just like just record and release. I use Fruity Loops. I don't give a shit. Like that's just do it. Just do it. Record the song and release it. And so I was kind of like, yeah, you know what, fine. You're right. Yeah. So here I am in my mid 30s, and I'm I had released stuff on Spotify before with other bands that I just kind of demo-y, really threw it out there. Then we broke up and didn't do anything with it. So I'm just like, I just, before I die, I want to just start getting these songs that I write out into the world, and at least have some sort of legacy for all of these hours that I've spent.
Yeah.
The name Miss Manhattan actually came from a Audrey Munson. It was when I was living in New York and going around, I would see all these statues and stuff of, um, the old statues that are just around these landmarks and stuff. And I saw there was a familiar face in a couple of them, and um, found out that there was this woman. She was like America's first supermodel. Her name was Audrey Munson, and her nickname was Miss Manhattan, or one of her many nicknames. I think another one was like American Venus or something. But she's, and if I'm not mistaken, like she's been on like some sort of coin or something, and she's been the face on several statues. She was the first person to like appear nude in a non-pornographic film specifically, and I don't know, just cool. And so when I was thinking about what to call the project, I kind of just wanted something that was like maybe memorable. So Miss Manhattan is just kind of like it rolls off the tongue, I guess. So I thought at the time, so I decided to go with that, and it was going to be like Miss like MS Manhattan, but there's a beauty pageant called Miss Manhattan, and they have like all the branding and stuff, and like for that, like you can't get an Instagram name that's like even close to that, or like they have all the website domains taken and stuff. They're like really, I'd never even heard of it before, but I guess they're really anal about their branding. So I was like, okay, I'll just change the S to an X, and that's end of story, really.
I love it. I mean, that's cool to have kind of a historical figure kind of be the inspiration. Do you have any like songs kind of about, about her or like inspired by her?
No, not yet, but she's definitely like muse-worthy. Yeah, she is definitely a muse type figure in American history. And I think that in a way, that's another thing that attracted me to her was like I feel like a lot of times for my own writings, I've needed some sort of like a muse to kind of help open me up, and whether it's a toxic muse that's like abusing the shit out of me or whatever, but they take many forms. But I felt, so I just I had just a raw attraction to her, and she's a pretty cool lady,
Gotcha.
definitely.
So would you consider, obviously we coming back to Pink Moon, and you have your Border Polar, it's off the Border Polar EP, so it will be linked below. If you guys want to go give it a listen, give it a stream, and kind of get an idea of what Miss Manhattan's all about. Like, Have you changed your sound since the beginning of this project, or like up until Pink Moon, or has it been pretty consistent? Like, what have you feel like, where have you grown in within this project, would you say?
So uh, I definitely think that I think my defining or something I kind of want to be defining of me as as an artist is more diversity
Hmm.
in sound. So it's my songs will always just be kind of a reflection of what I'm listening to at the moment and what I like, which is always changing. So my tastes are always changing, what I'm changing, So I really think that, yes, definitely. I've evolved a lot and am still evolving. I may even circle back and revisit some things, but I think that I have a pretty eclectic sound, and that's one of my aims is to kind of keep going with that. I think I have a mixture of, if you listen to the Border Polar stuff, we have these kind of indie rock song, like softer, slower tempo songs that kind of maybe fit in the indie rock vein. And then even when you listen to them sped up, they kind of gives them this like ironic pop feeling,
Sure.
which is but then if you go and other songs I've written in the past, there's like OMG is definitely inspired by some rock from the 70s and 80s, just rock music, and then there's some like synth layers on there. And then I have Loners kind of just like a straight up pop song, like maybe in the vein of people have said like Postal Service reminds them of. So just kind of emo pop. And then the Chain one is kind of like this dark, kind of ethereal sounding song. And I just kind of want to, that's my goal is to just each song should take you to like a different place, if that makes sense. Like this is, it's a vibe. Each song is just has its own unique vibe that takes you, and I don't want my stuff to sound the same. Basically, if you haven't gotten that by then, let me just
Yeah.
say it. I don't want my songs to all sound the same. And I hope I've kind of done that so far, and I hope I continue to do that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, as again, based on how you write, it sounds like you're drawing from a lot of personal experience, and just as things change and as you go through and continue to exist, you're going to have definitely a lot of eclectic events that'll happen, and you'll be able to write about a lot of those. For Pink Mood specifically, take me through recording process and kind of getting that like or were you obviously you come through this traumatic event, you write, we have lyrics, we have different things that have gone through, but like getting into the booth and kind of messing around within the musical part of it, like take me through what that journey was.
So, how this one came together, I was messing around. I had Logic Pro open and I was just kind of playing some chords. What I usually do when I make a song is I will sit down and kind of as I write a song, I'll kind of write and produce it all at the same time.
Hmm.
So I'm writing lyrics, drums, keys, guitar, like all at once through the song. It's kind of weird, I guess, but to me, a lot of times I'll hear it in my head before it's written, and just it's more like a matter of just kind of trying to, and I can't always do it. I sometimes I'm like halfway through and I just get it's gone. But sometimes I have these great spurts and I can get all the way through. Um, that's not the only way I write, but a lot of songs do come this way, and Pink Moon was no different. So I kind of felt it coming on, and so I just sat down and I demoed it out basically. I was like, I'm feeling these chords, and then this melody just came to me, and I like pictured it. And so I got down like some keys and guitar. I had a basic drum part. The song did sound really, really, really a lot different when I demoed it out. I wonder if I was using some like older patches from samples.
Hmm.
I think there were more electronic and keyboard sounds like towards the beginning part of it, and then I opted for more like the acoustic guitar to carry a good section of it and dial down the keyboards a little bit. And then I got together with a friend who I had come up with some, string parts, and my friend plays violin. So he
Did Andrew
laid
play
those
violin
down
on
for
this?
me. Huh?
Did Andrew play violin on
No,
it?
no, 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 no.
Different guy.
My friend Alex did. So, yeah, and then I sat on the song forever. Basically what happened was when I first started this project, I was kind of still, even though I wanted to do everything by myself, I was kind of still in this. I had a friend who I worked on music with a lot, and through the course of this project, I kind of just realized that this person was like, was had been my best friend for at least 15 years now, or so I thought, and I kind of realized they were just, not a good friend to me. Um, During this time, I would just the friendship fell apart, and they ended up, like, in my opinion, abandoning me and stabbing me in the back for no reason, just other than just, like, I don't know really why. There was nothing happened, or, like, just ghosts after 15 years of friendship, getting ghosted one day, and it really sucked. Um, but this person was involved in that song too, so there's, in a way, that's kind of like 2 breakups involved in this song.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think there was just the heartbreak is just basically the whole theme of this one. A lot of crying involved in the making of this song. I think at one point I actually was like, in the song, in the recording, I was so emotional, like, thinking about the things that had just happened that year. Started crying while I was singing that song, and I think there's actually, like, you can hear my voice choking a little bit in one of the takes. So, yeah, that's, interesting emotional aspect to that song. There's kind of, like, I'm just really feeling it when I think it all translates
Yeah. Well, I
into
appreciate
that
you
song.
taking us through that. I mean, I know that's probably like not so like two breakups in one. Like we're going to like the most intense song, one of the more intense songs you probably have, and like getting the nitty gritty. I appreciate you sharing all that. I mean, definitely not easy. Switching gears here from what you've created so far. Like, have you built a live set? What's the live performance been like? If you've done that, like, take me through a little bit more on that subject.
So I've only done one live show. It was recently on December 14th. So I signed up for, here in Columbus, there's a nonprofit called Music Columbus, and they have a couple things they do. One of them is they put out like a release calendar of local musical acts who have, put out, music that month, and they'll link it and they'll put it on a Spotify playlist for you. If it's an album, they'll like throw a song from there on something, or something on this playlist. Um, and then they also put together shows. They have different showcases, and there's one thing called the Unheard Showcase, and that's, they'll maybe take a lesser known artist and feature them on this showcase. Um, and then the program I participated in was the Better Together Music Incubator. So, they just take some newer artists from around town, and it's kind of like a weekly workshop where you, do different things to develop skills to progress as an artist. And then you come out of it with different things, like they did pay for the recording of a couple songs. One of those, which will be coming out sometime in the next couple months, I'm sure. Yeah, and then so we get an EPK and photo shoot, things like that, to just kind of help us get a little kickstart. I had already had some material out, but as a newer artist, these things were that cost money to get these final recordings mixed and mastered. So just having that little extra boost to get a couple more songs done, and really, because just being like a broke artist, not really having any money, that was really a good help. Um, so so the culmination of that program was kind of just a showcase of, here's the bands that we picked for the incubator, and we each played a 25-minute set.
Nice.
I've played plenty live with other acts before, but I think it felt really good to kind of just get back out there. Other than, I play a lot of open mics around town, but having that first show, and having it was a good crowd, and gauging everyone's response and seeing that people were into what I was doing was really encouraging.
What was the
Yeah.
setup for you? Like, were you guitar on stage? Like, would you have, drum machine? Like, what kind of were the building blocks there for that set?
So I opted to just go with purely me singing, and I created backing tracks for that set. I really would like to progress towards finding at least a drummer and some some live support, even 1 or 2 people along with these tracks, I could so just having adding to the live energy, and I'm definitely interested in incorporating playing some instruments live, too, but I also do think that focusing on just singing and performing, uh, has been really fun. So I definitely don't wanna get too bogged down with hiding behind instruments anymore. I'm kind of feel like it's maybe time to be okay with just being like, "Okay, I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna be a performer and try to put my all into my singing and my act and not try to, like, hide behind something that I might think, "Oh, look, I'm proving that I can play guitar," but really I feel like I'm just inhibiting myself and hiding behind something when I do that a lot of the time. So getting out of that is something I'm excited to do.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, within this, like, are there plans for more shows, around Columbus, maybe outside of Columbus, or like, what's kind of the look for 2025 for this?
So I am going to be releasing a single. It's called Strawberry Milk, probably in the next 2 or 3 months. It's definitely one of the more it's like a really I would like classify it as like an edgier pop song, um, and maybe some influence of pop punk actually, in there too. There's definitely a pop punk influence drift there in the chorus, and the whole theme of that song is just kind of supposed to be pop punky, poppy, anthemic. Um, it's about losing my friendship that I told you about, but it's more of like it's less sentimental and more just like fuck you. So long story short, there should be some sort of single release show around that time.
Gotcha.
Is what I'm getting at here, TLDR. And then after that, I think maybe 4 or 5 months, just, give it some time to for that show to have been a while in the past, and I will probably be releasing an album here. I mean, I'm halfway through recording 5 to 6 songs right now, and there's just probably more going to be added to that list. So I'm looking at hopefully 8 to 11 song album out before the end of this year. I've emailed Promo West about it. I'm maybe hoping I could get it done in A&R Music Bar or the basement. I have had some established acts in Columbus interested in helping me put on and promote the show. So I'm hoping I can maybe get a yes from one of those venues, or if not, there's definitely several other options that I'd be able to look into around town to get that set up. So yeah, at least 2 coming this year. Um, and not only that, but there's gonna be some festival applications and stuff coming up here soon for this summer, that I might be able to hop on some of those as well. So,
Lots coming. I love it. Two
hopefully,
shows.
yeah,
We got
yeah.
2 shows. We got the single. We got the album. Hopefully by the end of the year, and then some festival action. So that's gonna be great. Lot coming from Miss Manhattan. Everybody be ready. Well, with the yeah. So with that, we'll kind of hop into our favorite part of the show, the Pete Peterson party pack of questions. We're gonna ask you some tough questions, Noraa. 20 questions right in a row. So we'll get into it here.
I'm scared.
Cake or pie?
Hi.
Pie. She's pieing it up. All right.
Fun fact, really, like, not to ramble, but I don't have cake on my birthday, I have pie.
Uh,
Yes, I have a birthday pie. Usually it's a berry pie, like raspberry or blackberry, that's my favorite, just in
wow.
case
All
you were
right.
wondering.
No, no, let's go. Get some blackberry pie. I'm a key lime on my birthday
Oh
myself.
my god,
Even though I'm
yes. Okay, so key lime is my favorite pie, but I don't have it on my birthday for some reason. I should. That is my favorite
come
pie, though.
on. Come on,
I just
go
have
down
a
to Publix
thing.
and get one.
There's a nostalgia to berry pie. There's a specific reason, but I think if I didn't have that reason, I would get key lime on my
I
birthday
love it.
too.
I love it. All right.
So I feel you.
Salad or soup?
I'm torn. Soup.
Is that
I'll
because
say
it's
soup,
cold, right? Is
but
that because it's cold out right now?
maybe. But I'm gonna say soup because I do think that soup is so good, and you can put enough vegetables in soup to make it a salad, basically that's been cooked.
Good point. Good point. Salad
So
can be
you can,
soup.
I guess. I mean, and gazpacho is basically salad in a blender. So really, I mean, so I can say soup because that includes both, and that's all. But I am It's a very close, but yeah, I will say soup.
All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Neither, because I've been living in my basement.
All right. Fair.
But I will say sunrise. I think technically there have been more sunrise.
Okay. All right.
Just off the top of my head.
You are in a college town. This one's a little bit of a sports question. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Home run.
Home run.
Home run. I just feel like there's just something about like just probably hitting the ball and seeing it just go and you're like, oh, I fucking got a home run. Like just hitting it. There's probably something I don't know. It just must be so gratifying to just hit it out of the park. Like, just yeah. So probably
Night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
night in.
Night in. All right. When you do go out though, and your jam comes on, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm in the middle of the dance floor?
Robot.
Robot
100%. I am
all the
not
way.
brave enough to try doing the worm at all. But like robot, you can at least kind of like be like, oh, I suck at dancing.
But
Like
you're doing
nobody's
it
gonna
at the
expect
old
you to be
college
amazing
drop.
at dancing if you're gonna. Yeah, I will. But nobody's gonna expect that of wonders out of someone doing the robot. So I'm definitely gonna set the bar low and go with that one.
I love it. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Theoretically, I like them about the same, but the guac is more likely to be good. So queso is more hit or miss. So I'm probably gonna go with the guac usually, unless it looks nasty.
Yeah. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes
Pancakes.
with peanut butter and maple syrup on them.
All right. Get a little protein on there. I like that.
Hmm.
Coffee or tea with your pancakes?
Coffee.
All right. Dogs or cats?
I probably can't say both. I've owned more cats technically, so I'll say cats.
All right. All right.
I do like all animals. I do have a dog and two cats and a fish currently. No, I have two fish.
There we go. We get a little diversity in there. Hopefully the cats don't eat the fish. I know that they like fish.
They've tried. Yeah, there've definitely been several attempts. Yeah, but actually, so one of my fish ate all of his tank mates except one. So I named him Butthead, and then I had to name the other one Beavis just because that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did not realize when I got that aquarium I was gonna be creating this cannibal like horror house. Like I'm gonna get some fish,
It's tough.
so I asked the person at the aquarium, I'm like, they'll get along, right? And they just wanted my money. They're like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That'll be good.
So
That'll be
yeah,
good.
they're just so I dump them all in there, and I just look at me and my kids are like looking at the fish, and then all of a sudden, like this big jerk fish just comes out of nowhere, like, and then there's just murder. Like he bites two of the fish in half. My kids are screaming. I'm like, I just
Whoop.
locked all these poor fish in here with this monstrous murder, and he just ravaged through everybody. And then he ended up being best friends with the one he didn't eat, though. They like honestly, I think I catch them snuggling together sometimes. It's a Plecostomus, so they're pretty chill. They get along with everybody, but yeah. So
All right. We get
I
some
have
little fish.
pets.
I love
I have
pets. Let's
pets.
go.
Okay,
Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
ninja.
Ninja, stealth,
Yeah.
sneaking through the night. Love it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I like to stick to the shadows.
Gatorade or Powerade?
All right.
Powerade. All right. Toast or bagels?
Bagels.
Bagels.
I don't buy enough bagels. I eat more toast, but I prefer bagels. I should start buying more bagels.
Put them on the grocery list. Let's go.
That's
Chips or pretzels? Which one of those are on the grocery list?
fuck pretzels.
Okay.
Fuck them. I know chips all the way. Ew.
Chips on.
Pretzels are just sorry if you like pretzels. I just don't understand why they're a food. They just make your mouth so dry and they're like pointless. The driest like cracker you could imagine. You're just like it's like eating a chalk stick. Why would you eat that? I'm sorry. We can go on. I'll stop.
All right, angry.
I'll
All right,
stop
hey,
myself
no,
short
no
there.
pretzels. Let's go. Hey, we had some other people who have the same reaction. That's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
you're
We're
not
on the
alone.
same wavelength. Okay.
Fries or tots?
Ooh, that is a close call. Uh,
Okay, going fries. We like it. All right. TV show or a movie after a long day?
movie,
Movie. All right. All right. Are aliens real?
probably.
Okay. Is Bigfoot
Probably.
real? Bigfoot's
But
not.
I wish very much that Bigfoot was real, but I don't think Bigfoot is real.
Yeah. Is love at first sight real?
Yes.
Very good. And finally, final question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack of Questions. Give us two artists, two that we might not know that we ought to check out. Who should we be
Okay.
listening to? Maybe in the Columbus
So,
area or anywhere.
okay, you know what? I will name a Columbus band that I like. Brian Damage. They just have this really like nostalgic, like alternative sound. Like it reminds me of stuff like, I don't know, Smashing Pumpkins and like, but it's you know, it's got like, you know, they sound unique, original. I think their songs are just really solid. Like alternative pop songs, alternative rock songs that are just kind of pretty catchy, and I like their sound. I'm really hoping that I hear more of in a similar vein from them. Yeah, so I'll mention them, and I'm going to another artist that I've been listening to a lot recently is Moayad. He is a an Arabic language rap hip hop artist. He's also an actor. He's in like a Netflix series that's in the US. Yeah, he's from Saudi Arabia, immigrated over here, I believe, but he's put out he puts out mainly Arabic language music, but I have been listening to a lot of music kind of in that vein, mainly because I'm learning Arabic, and I also like a lot of the songs and the musical styles that I hear out of there. So I've been, you know, putting on more and more Arabic language music over the years. If you're going to listen to a song by Moayad, it's Moyad. It's called Thebe, which translates to wolf. That's the name of the song.
Wow. All right. We'll have to give that a listen. Veeb.
It's a very good, it's like reminiscent of like the beats, like something you hear on like, I don't know, it's maybe something you hear on like a Kendrick album. And um like I could easily hear that instrumental being on like To Pimp a Butterfly or something, kind of that vibe, kind of similar vein. And they did a really good job producing it. And I think he's a really talented artist. I think there's a lot. I mean, I could give you a whole playlist of artists from that region that I think are just phenomenally gifted. They both, some are even use English language in their music, so it might be a little bit more accessible to people. But
Yeah.
I could go on for hours about the international music I've discovered recently. But that's just one of them.
Yeah.
If you want a bonus one, check out Jam Baxter. I think they're British artists, but I found them in a related artist to one of the Arabic artists I was listening to. I think they did a song together or something.
Are we going to get a rap album from you?
Gosh, there's definitely I probably will never rap, but there are definitely songs that I'm working on that are very influenced by rap. And they have, if you listen, even gosh, that song I released, You Will Never Haunt Me, I was really the whole the whole beat, the drum part to it was completely influenced by rap, by international rap music that I had been listening to. So it's not a rap song by any context. It's like a emo-y pop song. I consider my genre to be emo pop. That's kind of like what I call myself, but to just cover it with a blanket term. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Very
Um,
cool.
but yeah,
Very cool. Well,
all
we are
sorts of
excited
influence.
for more Miss Manhattan 2025. Your year. As we release this here in January. We got
Yeah.
two shows coming up. Hopefully in January we got the single coming out first, Strawberry Milk, and then we'll wait on that album here. Later half of the year. So Nora, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and we
Of
appreciate
course,
you
thank you.
sharing some insights and everything, and look forward to hearing from
Thank you
more
for
from
having
you.
me.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Take
Bye
care.
bye.